My name is Brent Feuz. I'm a local brain injury survivor of about 15 years and also a very active local advocate in the field of brain injury. I am a member of the Traumatic Brain Injury Services Coordinating Council. I was the Governor's Office appointee, and what that is, it's a panel of people put together, people who are experts in the area. I'm also a brain injury survivor, and they have a certain amount of brain injury survivors on that group. And what we do is we get together and meet 3 to 4 times a year, and we try to make recommendations and things that the health department and the governor's office should be aware of to better treat people with brain injury in New York State, because the numbers are just growing so rapidly. I was injured by an air horn blast about 3 feet away from my body, which is the equivalent of a bomb blast without shrapnel. I actually received 2 concussions at once. One from the sound and one from my body whipping and jerking, creating a whiplash injury to my neck area. Getting 2 concussions that close together is called second impact syndrome, and that can be highly debilitating and even fatal in some cases. And luckily I did not go unconscious from that, which I was supposed to have. Many of the doctors couldn't believe that I didn't go unconscious, and I was lucky not to go unconscious, because if I did, if I hit my head again, it would have been a third concussion or insult to my brain, and most likely I would not have been able to be resuscitated. My breathing center and other things would have shut down completely. The reason why I wrote the booklet was because as I started trying to get treatment for this, no one really seemed to understand it that well. I had trouble getting properly diagnosed. I was first released from a hospital with only the diagnosis of barrel trauma, which means a pressure or noise to the ears, and so I wasn't really listed with a concussion or brain injury. So eventually I went to my general practitioner, and he did kind of label me with a concussion, but his thought was, with a lot of concussions, sometimes they will go away in 2 to 3 weeks, but mine did not, and it got much worse. TBI is very unrecognized because it's so highly underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Right now, the current figures are, I think, approximately 3.7 million people per year have brain injuries in the United States. But I've always said the numbers are probably much more like 3 times that, because I think there's probably 4 to 5 million at least that never go to a hospital, which is a very big mistake, and they may suffer with some problems for years to come and not ever figure out why. Then there's the people that go to the hospital. That's a 3.7 that go and get diagnosed. And I think there's another 3.7 that go to the hospital that also either get misdiagnosed or highly underdiagnosed. And that's a severe problem. And once again, a lot of it is because there's no protocol or procedure to follow this, because there are techniques, imaging, and tests and things that can all be done and readily available. If it's all just used in a very well-structured plan, you can really diagnose somebody quite quickly and accurately. The book, what we're looking to ultimately gain out of that is to put it in as many people's hands as possible in New York State. We're even circulating it in other states, and some colleges are using it, and it's being used in some other training programs. Because it's a very simple guide that can be used by, hopefully by survivors, their family members and friends, doctors. There's useful information in there for doctors and other medical practitioners. And once again, it's all to try to make the process of getting someone diagnosed and then treated. And you don't get treatment unless you get diagnosed. We've come out with the booklet. That's a big help. Starting a nonprofit organization, Brain Injury Survivors of America. And we're going to be geared a little bit more towards the medical end of brain injury and trying to advance protocols and things in the medical field that have been really neglected, because I always explain to everybody with a brain injury, when you're trying to get treatment in the beginning, if you don't do things the right way, you only get the chance to do it right once. And you really need leadership and guidance, and this booklet really offers that. I'm also an advocate. I even will go and meet people in the hospital when they're injured if necessary to help try to help them get really good medical care. And then to follow up with people and try to suggest what type of practitioners to go see in what order. That really does matter, which nobody gives you any suggestions on that. And what it does, it tries to get you diagnosed more fully, quickly, and with less time, effort, and money wasted. And then also with our nonprofit, we have a local support group. Support groups are one of the best things for survivors because then they come and see how other people have survived through this. And I know the first time I went, I thought I didn't even belong there. So within 20 minutes, I soon realized that, yeah, I do belong here, unfortunately. And then you start to link up with people who are more similar to you and who you can learn from, and these people are more than willing to help. And so you have to accept that you have an injury or problem before you can really go about trying to find your way through the maze to get it corrected or diagnosed. And by being with other survivors, they can make you understand it better, talk you through it, make you feel more comfortable, and you don't feel like some kind of freak or weirdo because you still really don't believe you have an injury, and sometimes these are the people that really help you understand and find that you do. And also on the other end, people don't realize the great legal and financial burden that a brain injury can cause to an individual or a family. You could be injured at work. That would be a workers' comp situation. If you're involved in an auto accident, that would be no fault. You might get hurt on a construction site or something different, might be a third-party lawsuit. And if you are injured, you really do need to see an attorney also very quickly to preserve your rights, because a lot of people are going to try to deny your rights and deny medical care to you and other things that you need to then survive in life. And if you don't protect these things, people will take them away from you. TBI needs to be treated more like a heart attack because most people, if they have severe chest pain and things like that, they will go to the hospital. And everybody knows what happens if you don't. You could die, or you could be really very seriously put up by a heart attack. And with brain injury, everybody says that you look fine and this and that. The old adage, never judge a book by its cover. Just because someone looks and acts fine from the outside does not mean that the inside is right. And you'll have multiple things wrong. I have severe things, damage to the brain, ears, eyes, and neck. And once again, I look perfectly normal, but I have had or still have over 130 symptoms. And some of these symptoms are very severe, and they're extremely life-changing.